We are live after a little bit of technical difficulties. Alright, I think I'm not going to swear at anything. Oh, yep, there I am. So, I assume that we are live. Alright. Alright, Chuck, Tim, give me a sound check. I think we're good. I think we got sound and video. Because someone probably should fix my name down there at the bottom. Stephan. If you put an F in there, it would be like Stephan Chenault from Dwarven Forge, who I have known for, good Lord, 20 years now. All right, it's crazy how long I've been doing this. It's absolutely crazy. How's it going, King Kothar? Good deal, Vic. We got video and sound, so we're golden. How you doing, Commander? We got off to a rocky start today. We were trying to switch back over to Chuck hosting it, but somehow I turned something off and killed something, and what I normally do when I'm with computers, I wreck it. So, there you go. How's it going, Ultra Magnus? It's a troll lord. It's a troll lord world after all. I swear to God, I'm gonna hire someone to sing that someday. I'm gonna rewrite those lyrics. It's a troll lord world after. See, it doesn't work because what is it? It's a something world. It's a happy world. What is that? What does that song go? It's a. How does that song go? Small world. Yes, good. God. Yes, it's a small world after all. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I wanted to be It's a Troll World after all. But it's got to have Troll Lord in there or it doesn't make any sense. 9 months subscribed. Will there be a baby troll? There you go. Probably. You know, I have been wanting... oh, yeah, real quick, I'm supposed to say that there's going to be a giveaway at 4:50. So hang around. And we're doing a $50 giveaway. I don't know what we're doing. We're doing something. How's it going, Haunted Holler? How's it going, Matt Barniger? Yeah, you know about that troll thing, Commander Pete. So somewhere, I think this is a Norse legend, Swedish, I don't know, somewhere up where there's snow. There's the 13 Trolls of Christmas, or the 12 Trolls of Christmas. And I've always wanted to get Peter or Jason to draw up all those trolls and do a big thing for Christmas. But I only remember it when it's Christmas, and then it's too late to do it. So so the baby trolls are never born. Thank you for the subscriptions, Lord Gazumba. Very much appreciated. You too, Commander Pete. Thank you for the sub. Very, very cool. I want a $50 coupon. Well, it will be unleashed later today. Yeah, I can't remember what that's called. It's something. I kept the bookmark for like 6 or 7 years, and I literally just keep forgetting to mention it to Peter. I should mention it to him right now while I'm thinking about it. Is it advertising? It's gone. Wherever I had saved it, I have been cleaning out. Well, there it's typed it. I've been cleaning out bookmarks for a while. Trolls of Christmas, maybe. I'm using the DuckDuckGo. Yeah, there's something. Celebrating Iceland. Okay, so it's not Norway. It's in Iceland. Dumaflashi. Something like... I'll just put this up in here. Those crazy Icelanders. There you go. That's what I've been wanting to do for a while. Maybe someday. The Icelandic Yule Lads. Yeah, it says it there. The Yule Lads. Should get Davis to draw it. Davis actually is a pretty good artist, and he does pretty good caricatures. He could do a caricature of each of the troll lords. That would be all right. How's it going in 5,000? How's it going, Lord Davis? All good stuff. But, and you know, now's the time to get started. Draw one troll a month, and we'd have them ready, you know, well, not quite. Have to do 2 a month and have them ready by Christmas. But, we got other things to do. There's so many other things to do. I can't even... Today, some problems have erupted with the amount of art available in the Monsters and Treasures of Air, so we've got to fix that. I got to sit down with Peter and Jason and Zoe and work through all that. Yeah, it's a lot of work. And we got to come up with a backstory for all of them. Oh, that's good, Lord Dalius. It's good to be good, especially in this crazy world. You know, people say that all the time. It's the crazy world. It's been a crazy world since we started putting walls up back 12 or 15,000 years ago. As soon as that first Homo sapien said, man, if I stack these rocks up, in this line, the wind will stop battering my face. Things started going crazy at that point, and they haven't stopped. They have not stopped since. It's just another day on Earth. Too much or too little, there you go. It's always that's the truth of it. For a minute there, I thought he was drinking. Oh yeah, no, that's not going to happen. If I drink a Coke, it'll almost always be over ice. I like Coke. I like Coca-Cola, just regular Coke. I like it over ice. I don't like it out of the can. I'll drink it out of a can. It's got an odd taste to it. I'm hell, boss. I will do the picture with a smile on my face. I need to work. Well, I think you're talking to Tim, so I believe. I think we've got something coming down the pipe because I got stuff. You know that scene in We Were Soldiers Once and Young. I believe that's the name of the movie and the book by Colonel Halmore. And there's a scene in it when they're fixing to be overrun by the NVA. They're coming down the hill and they're fixing to overrun them. And they do the broken arrow thing. And the one guy says, "Don't worry, Colonel. We've got aircraft stacked every 1,000 feet for 19,000 feet, waiting to come in for support." That's what I feel like TLG is like sometimes. We've got a project stacked. There's so many projects stacked. It's absolutely. We got hit, and this is all good news. We got hit with an absolutely monstrous restocking order yesterday, and it necessitated me and Todd immediately scrambling to find, because some of these things they're in print but only in limited capacity. It's been a couple busy 2 days. It's going to be two more busy days, and that's great news. That is fantastic news, and I am not complaining. But that injected itself right into the middle of all the other things that we're doing. So but it's good. Yeah, I love that movie Ultra Magnus, and I love that scene where we got aircraft stacked every 1,000 feet, and that's about what the Troll Lords feel like. We actually Tim, Chuck, and I had a meeting today about things that are just getting kind of, not passed over, but set to the side, and not enough attention is being given to them. That Patreon's the perfect example. I was going over revenue streams and things that we're doing and social marketing, all this stuff, and we're repositioning ourselves a little bit away from things like Facebook and looking for new venues and stuff like that. And the Twitch channel is part of the conversation, and we were over at the Patreon account, and I don't do a lot on the internet. It has nothing to do with my hatred of technology. I want it to be 1895 again, but it's more in tune with how much work I do for TLG. I sit in front of the computer working on TLG all day. I don't come back to it, and whatever. But so we were looking at the Patreon, and I hadn't looked at it in months and months. And this is part of the, this is all tied to the World of Anvil that Tim's worked so hard to build and construct and get all of the World of Arid up on the internet so that people can use it through their VTTs, which ties into what Chuck is doing through Shard, which just launched their Kickstarter today. So there's this gigantic bundle of stuff that all works together. And but pieces of, because there's so many parts of it, pieces are getting kind of left behind, and we have to regroup every now and again and look at it. And I was looking at the Patreon account, and I said we need to focus more on this. What do we need to do to get more here? And Chuck said, well, literally, if you could just give us something that you're working on, because I had just sent M3 to Tim for editing, and both of them are like, dude, if you have stuff like that. I said, well, I got tons of like that. I got stuff all over the place that were Gods and Monsters of Air, the NPC Almanac. I'm having all new batch of art done for the Monster Treasures of Air. There's what else did I give them? There's artifacts and the Gods and Monsters of Air. Oh yeah, then there's the Aridian Planescapes, the 3 houses I've worked on. Then there's Rune Magic. So I just gathered a whole bunch of stuff and dumped it in their shared folder and said, there, now you have a ton of exclusive stuff. So that'll be coming on the Patreon account soon. But that's sort of what it's like around here. We we direct all of our energy on this, and we focus on it, and then we forget that, them, and those, and then we suddenly go, oh wait, we forgot those, and we go over there and focus energy, and we forgot this, and it's just a big bummer. And then these are all fantastic problems to have. These are all fantastic problems to have. Let's see, what did I miss here? How's it going, Epi? Oh yeah, the Reddit. We need to do another Reddit thing too. Calling on me, grandparents on my position. Calling all remaining players' handbooks on my position. Exactly. And that's the biggest one. Literally, Vic Danger, that is the biggest thing stacked above us is the player's handbook. Our dwindling supply of 7th printings has me understandably concerned. And we've gotten most of what we need, I think, for the new printing. But I haven't had a chance to sit down and finalize the layout. And that I'm hoping next week that actually happens. But there you go. Yeah, King Color, we're trying. That's the World Anvil, the Twitch, the Discord. We're trying to shift focus into just a little bit more game oriented. You know, Facebook, love it, leave it, whatever you want to do. I don't care what anyone's opinion is about that. It's got its own bundle of baggage that comes with it that I would rather just kind of avoid. How's it going, 42? Thank you for the subscription, Canadian Gamer. Very much appreciated. Did you see Steve's AMA on Reddit a little while back? It sent really... Yeah, we need to do another one of those. That would be very cool. Which Wayne is working his tail off on? He's got... Yep. Just really sneak peek. Oh, excellent. Good deal. Up on Patreon. So Tim's already got some of that stuff, and there's so much of it. I mean, Zoe's throwing art at me almost every day, and she's working on multiple projects simultaneously. She did the Player's Handbook, of course, and she's working on the Gods and... She's working on Gods and Monsters, getting all of the art done for the gods, for the Kobold gods and the Knoll gods and the Orc gods and all that stuff. And I've got her working on Monsters and Treasures of Erd, and now she's also working on fiction, the pieces for Yorick and Ava. So I've just thrown a ton of art at her, and of course Peter's doing a ton of art, and Jason is. Jason actually sent me an itemized list of stuff TLG hasn't paid him for today. It was really kind of funny. He said, "Don't worry about it, man. I know you're busy." But I was like, "Holy shit!" And Jason's starting in on the cross-hatching poster for the Starship Warden. There's just so much stuff going on. I did see it, Pete. Blah blah blah. How's it going, old school? Blah blah blah. I'm trying to see if I missed any questions here. So happy to be able to bring air to the digital world. Hal Sartale. Hey, Hal, how's it going, man? Your Kickstarter's off to a roaring start. We will get it up in the newsletter if we didn't already. I don't know if it's not in today's, it'll be in Thursday's definitely. So Hal is bringing all kinds of air to his Shard tabletop. If you have not done so, please head over and check out his Kickstarter. Chuck, if you could throw that up in the stream, that'd be great. And check it out. Spread the word. Do everything you can. I've seen a little bit of the VTT over there. It's really fantastic, and it's going to be just tons of stuff. So, very, very... Got your storm chips. We got hot weather down here. I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about, Canadian. I suspect you got more snow way up there. One thing I like with Discord is that it allows for conversations and also supports direct games. Yeah, and 42, I took the time to figure out how it works, and it's really not hard. It's not very hard at all. So I've been getting into Discord more now and trying to bring the stuff that I did over on Facebook. And I'll still do it on Facebook. I'm not abandoning Facebook because there's still a lot of folks who love that platform. And I'm bringing it over to Discord, and it's just a little bit more, I don't know. It's just easier for me, and I think it's because it's more text-based. You go to Facebook, and there's just so much crap going on. But on Discord, it's just some text, and if someone throws a picture up, there's a picture. So I like it. I don't like a lot of distraction. I love art, but art, go to an art book. Book should be booked. To cast a wider net, I think it would be a good idea to try and get your own category on Twitch and see if you can't sponsor some low to mid-sized RPG streamers to stream the game, get more eyeballs on the product, particularly young people you aren't reaching on Facebook. Absolutely. We've that was part of the conversation today. We've absolutely got to up our game on Twitch. I've got to start running games over here, but we got to get more people on the Twitch stream. We got to do more cross stuff with other folks. Twitch is one of those things. Twitch is one of those things that Tim's making some jokes over here. I can't repeat online, but yeah, Twitch is one of those things that Tim and Chuck are all over getting and understanding and diving into, and I'm just not 100% certain how it all works. So, with the stuff that goes on, but it's all great, and I absolutely love the fact, the evolution of, and this is one of the things that, as the Troll Lord, I have fallen into. So, way back when, so when we started this mess in 1999. Were there message boards in 99? There was some kind of, there was something. I don't know if it was message boards necessarily. There was something. Zines? I don't know what the hell there was. There was something that we'd communicate a little bit on. And we've watched it evolve. And I remember when Facebook first came out, and I didn't participate, but Peter Bradley, who, our artist, he actually... Death message boards like the old troll. Yeah, that's what it was in the very, very beginning. And I remember when Facebook came out, Peter Bradley got an account almost immediately. I mean, when it was brand new. And he sent over gold rotary phones. I will have you know, Grape Ape, I had a rotary phone in the Troll Lord office up until about 2013 or 2012 when the local phone, whoever I used, Comcast, dropped analog and went digital. So I actually had a rotary phone in my office until very, very recently. But, so Peter got on Facebook 2007 sounds about right, very, very early. And I remember him sending me a link, and he said, dude, you need to get on Facebook. It's what people are going to be, going to soon. And I was like, nobody's going to get on Facebook. That's just crazy. Who would want to be on Facebook? Who would want to do this? And so I did make an account. I made it under Troll Lord and not Stephan Chenault, because that was kind of who I was known on the message boards and all that mess. And I didn't do anything with it for years. It just sat there for years until, of course, Facebook exploded all over the place. And I had to go back to revamp that. And I did Troll Lord forever and a day until they shut that down. They shut down. You had to do real names or some such business. And that was actually the first red flag I had with Facebook, because now they're kind of controlling the way I want to present Troll Lord games, or myself, or whatever it is. But we've used Facebook, a lot since then. But clearly the market dynamics, and I don't mean market dynamics, I mean really the communication dynamics, are shifting in a different direction, and have been for years. I mean, Twitch has got to be 5 years old now, 4 years old, something like that. And especially with the young people, they're coming in this direction. This is how they Discord, and this is how they do. And it doesn't escape me that Discord does seem a little bit like the old message boards. It's kind of funny. But so anyway, so long story short, or shorten that long story. What we're trying to do is make certain that we're moving with the times. That Troll Lord Games is doing what the actual community is doing, and hence Twitch and Discord and Patreon and all this other mess. It looks like I skipped a question. Given your relationship with Jason Vey, will you stock Elflair games in the TLG store or sell it at cons? You should stock Isle of 3 Omen in your store. I didn't even know it was CNC until I happened to buy it at GaryCon. So that's Jason's company, and if Jason wanted us to host it, we would be more than happy to do it, but he does that on his own stuff. We promote it wherever we can. I offer Jason any kind of promotions that he wants. He can, we'll put it in our newsletter, Twitter feed, whatever Jason wants, Jason gets. So we're more than happy to do that. But I think Jason wants to set Elflair Games up on its own 2 feet. He's building it slowly, very meticulously, very intelligently. I'm helping him wherever I can, but obviously Jason's been writing and publishing for a long time. If he wanted us to do that, we'd do it in a heartbeat. But I think he wants to go in that direction. And for any of the third-party publishers, all I got to do is reach out to Tim, probably be the person, and Tim could get a hold of me. And I don't think that would be a problem. We would have to figure out how the store would direct them, so that they get paid properly and it ships from their warehouse, or they'd have to warehouse it here and so forth and so on. There would be a logistics problem behind it, but I have zero problem helping other people promote Castles and Crusades. I don't want to sell Goodman Game stuff over in my store, but, that type of thing. Um, let's see. Really surprised you're not watching Taylor. And the other thing that I think is brilliant is how Goodman Games does their road crew thing for organized play at hobby shops. Unique perks for organizing games. There's a fun incentive, and it has paid off. All through hobby shops in my area have DCC games running as regularly as the indie game. Oh yeah, Joe Goodman set that stuff up years ago. You know, Joe and I are good friends. They did a fantastic job with that. Brendan LaSalle, I think, runs that. And we aren't there yet, but I know that's one of the things that Chuck and Tim are trying to build as we move Troll Lord games, forward, and Castles and Crusades forward. We've hired people in the past to do the organized play for us, and it just didn't work out as well as we had hoped. But yeah, that's the way it is sometimes. What is the best music to write adventures to? The Sword, Led Zeppelin, Rhapsody of Fire, or Man of War? Good Lord, Rabbit Commando. Rabbit Commando. Man, Davis is a huge Led Zeppelin fan. I like Led Zeppelin, but I can't say that, and I listen to a lot of music, and a lot of it's very weird. I can't say I've heard of Man of War or Rhapsody of Fire or The Sword. That's hilarious. When I write, if it's rock music that I'm listening to, it's almost always Blue Oyster Cult. I love BOC's Cultosaurus Erectus and Fire of an Unknown Origin. Those are fantastic albums, very fantasy-based, Elric-based, the whole thing. So I'm I hate Facebook. Random comment from the Haunted Hall Painting. I hate Facebook. Yeah, it is what it is, but it's all about priorities. My weak heart can only handle so much. There you go. Let's see, what are we doing there? TikTok is not a good platform for products and brands. Yeah, I'm not sure how. I'm not sure how we could do TikTok. Is make TikTok. I'm a TikTok star with the Geek Preacher. There you go. I'm not sure how we could do TikTok unless Davis and I started doing some dancing. That was probably no one really wants to see. A couple old men staggering around. My 20-year-old daughter sniffs and informs me that M5. You're 100% on spot there. Everyone that I know that's younger than 45 avoids Facebook. Maybe 35, but Facebook is for old people. It's a very interesting. It's a dynamic. It's very interesting, and they're all on Discord and they watch Twitch. They're not necessarily on Twitch, but they definitely watch it. And TikTok now is absolutely gigantic with young people. I don't know, Kane, we could dance with the book or something. You never know. I like TikTok. I like TikTok like I like Vine. It's entertaining. You don't have to invest a lot of time and effort into watching it. It's 30 seconds. I can watch 4 or 5 minutes of it, take a break, watch a little TikTok. I'm done. Then I can go back to work. It's kind of nice. I don't have to get into, and I don't have to think about anything, which is nice. Yes, Barry Goodman has a fantastically well-oiled machine. He always has from the beginning. He has been very careful in building his company. Very controlling. It's one of the things that TLG, obviously, when she started, none of us had any business experience at all. We were, PhD candidate. Davis was an archaeologist, and Mac was a lawyer. So it was 3 people from no business background whatsoever. There was a pretty steep learning curve. Iron Maiden, there you go. How's it going, Blazing Ice? Okay, Geek, I'll give you a shout if we go TikTok. Yeah, I don't doubt it. I just don't doubt it. Man or Warriors of the World. Listen, I'll check it out. All right, hold on. I'm going to type that in. See, right now I'm listening to an ancient Swedish herding call called Coleman. Love that stuff. What are we doing? Man of War. All right, here we go. So I won't turn it on, obviously, now, but I will listen to this. I will listen to that when we're done with the stream. Can you speak a little bit about licensing your company name and the procedure when you should consider it? I knew each state has different qualifications, but in general. The company name, I wouldn't be inclined to license the company name. The game we license out, and it's a standard license that's going to be based on Arkansas law. So if you sign the license, then any arbitration that came of it would be here in Arkansas because that's where we're based. But the company name I wouldn't license out. I can't. I'm a pretty stout, old school guy with ownership. I'm not sure I can say. I'm pretty sure I can say this, but we are in the process even of moving our own. We're setting up our own servers for storage. We're moving our stuff off the internet, not the websites and that crap, but file storage and all that stuff. I'm just a big fan of ownership. Own your own house, own your own land, own your own car, own it. You'll still have to pay property taxes or whatever on it. And the internet's kind of the same way for me. And the company name is the same way for me. We've done licensing agreements with other companies where they've taken our property and they've shopped it in certain venues. But it's all been pretty stout. It's all been pretty stout licensing agreements. What the kids like is extremely dank and ironic memes, edgy, surreal nonsense. Oh, yeah. I like some of that. I like weird stuff. I really do. I can show you how to blow it up. My fee isn't that big. There you go, Geek Preacher. All these sites, I didn't even know what site was until like 2019 due to Reaper Bones. Oh, yeah, it's crazy. There's so much of it out there, Bloodwall, because I don't pay attention to hardly any of it. And it's not, like I said, it's not because I'm whatever. I don't like television or whatever. It's cool that people are communicating all these ways. I just don't. I don't know. I'm on the computer so much that to get back on the computer is enough. I think. Good deal. Let's see. What do we got here? Cool. The Sword is a band from the Dallas area that came out in the 2000s, but they sound like 1970s hard rock. Okay, I'm in then. I like 70s rock. I was just telling Ernie Gygax yesterday, I wish it was the 70s again. I was watching some Leonard Skinner in concert in California, and not literally in person. I was watching a video of the concert in California, and it was, I don't know, it was just so much hair. I don't know, I liked it. I grew up in the 70s, so I've got very fond memories of skateboarding and all that crap. I'm heading towards 7,000. It's all about knowing your community. Holy Christmas, Geek Preacher, that's huge. In case them like it so much, they sent me free product to review. And there you go. Well, I'll have to send you some free product to review, too. Well, maybe we need to look at TikTok. Chuck, Tim, we've got to check out TikTok. That's next. I met one of the band members from Manowar at a local 4th of July. Oh, that's very cool. TikTok is for what scientists call shitposting. If you cannot incorporate low-effort nonsense into brand awareness, you're golden. There you go. I like shitposting. That's hilarious. Yeah, when I was a kid, I wasn't that much into metal. Obviously, I listened to rock music, it was everywhere. But I was more of a country guy when I was a kid. Not until, I don't know, the 90s maybe? Late 90s, I really got into rock. And then it brought all these memories back from the 70s from when I was a kid. And it's on the radio and whatever the hell. I don't know. It's just good music. I don't know. There was a lot of bad music in the 70s too. Let's not overstate it there. There you go. All right, I'll track first geek. I'm gonna track down your channel on TikTok, and I'm gonna have to set up an account. I actually don't have an account. I don't whatever. I do need to time travel, but if I was given my choice, M5, I would time travel back to the 1890s, way ago. Maybe the 1870s when the gunfighting and all that's going on. That might be kind of cool. It wouldn't be quite cool if you got shot, but it might be kind of cool. Nothing screams fantasy games more like you're a The map appeared behind you is so cool. When are we going to get more detailed maps like that? Perhaps for individual regions like Gelderland. Yeah, that's actually on the docket. We one of the reasons you see that map there, that used to be the planning board for Troller games, and I removed that because we're moving that into a digital format so that Tim and Chuck and I can all access it and be a part of all that crap. But since I'm trying to shift a good portion of my time into writing and creation in the world of Aird, I need the map so I can see it easily. Like today, I'm finishing up the piece on Arnall, which is the Arnall is a wizards community on this island right there, Castle Arnall, and it's where the White Order is stationed. So I've written, it's got about 6 or 7 pages of material on that. So I'm going to start. I'm hoping that each week, and this is one reason I brought the Patreon up earlier, because it's going to be part of the World Anvil. Each week I'm going to write a new piece, send it over to Tim and crew to get it up on the World Anvil. And while we're doing that, I'm going to have to get with Peter Bradley so that we can update these maps. So when I wrote this section, there's 2 straits right there next to the island that need to be named. Because if you're playing in that area, you're going to want to know what they're named. So I got to sit down with Peter and figure out what we want to do blow-up wise, or how we want to do it. Obviously, doing it on World Anvil is easy. They can go in and just put in the words and we're good. but also for the print side of things, and when and how to update it, because we don't, obviously we can't print those every couple of days. Oh yeah, Southern Rock, absolutely Geek Preacher. But that is part of the going forward through 2021, and we're off to a very good start. I'm very happy with it. Not only did I write this very long section on R&L, I also wrote, it's kind of I don't know how to describe it. This material will start popping up on Patreon as well, and this will go into the Gods and Monsters of Erd, but I wrote a section on where the shreds of the Cloak of Red are. For those of you who don't know, the Cloak of Red is this magical cloak that a god wore. It was destroyed when that god fought a dragon, and the shreds of the cloak were scattered all over the world. So I'm creating, and I'm doing the Gods and Monsters a little bit differently than most places are done. I'm going to try to give the tools for not the adventure, but the tools for the CK and the players to actually create their own adventures. So, for instance, in the Cloak of Red, in this section that I'm writing, I wrote what happened. So you've got a brief idea of what happened to the Cloak of Red, and then in it are 4 separate sources of information that the CK will have, or DM or GM or whatever you are, that they can build upon for their players to find the pieces of the Red Cloak. I don't know if I'm going to place all of the pieces, because it doesn't matter. These books are going to have this information. There's a sheaf of notes, 2 books, and then a handwritten note, and this is stuff that's going to go in of Gods and Monsters of Erd, turning Gods and Monsters of Erd into kind of a lexicon of how-to. So you're going to have to you take these books. I think I got a copy of it. So for instance, if you wanted to run an adventure where you're seeking the Cloak of Red, you're going to have to find the Tome of Masternish, the Ethereum Notes, and the Mysteries of the Homunculus, and the Scrolls of Naranoth. Those things are going to tell you where the shreds are. And in these 3 sheets of paper, it describes where those things are, how they were lost, and how you as the CKGM are going to be able to place them and whatnot. So it's a little bit, I'm taking a little bit different approach, but there's going to be a lot of Erdian material coming out in the next many months. And Codex Disco. It depends on what you're trying to copyright. You may have to get a copyright, blah, blah, blah. I love TikTok, blah, blah, blah. That's what it's perfect. What genre would you consider Cowsays? I don't know. I think it's pretty much fantasy. You can't really. There's a little bit of no, it's fantasy, man. And I would say kind of a middle, not a high fantasy nor a grisly fantasy, somewhere in the middle. Inzaya would be grisly fantasy. I think I wrote a essay on that at some point. You said the word lawyer, and all I heard was money, money. Go vector base for your maps, kids. Blackmore's Night and Fun for Music. Blackmore's a good group. I remember Blackmore. They did a lot of stuff with Michael Moorcock, right? And said blah blah. You need one. See the Type 5 demon on the 5th floor. Copyright lawyer to do your business thing. There you go. Speaking of music, do you like to set music to games that you're running or events in the game at all? I used to all the time. I don't now. And I honestly don't know why I don't. I think I used to have a stereo, in the hall we played, and those things are gone now, and they're replaced with phones and little speakers. And then you got to get in the phone and set up a playlist or whatever the hell, and it's really one step too far for me to have to do that much. And occasionally I'll get the computer going because we game in the room in there. But even then, that YouTube video plays out and it goes into something weird and I have to end up turning it off. So over the last couple of years, I've just kind of quit. But we used to always play. Now, I didn't actually set specific music to specific games, but Carmina Burana, Carl Orff's Carmina Burana, we played. The soundtrack to Lion in the Winter, we played. Blue Oyster Cults. There's just quite a few pieces that Jean-Michel Jarre's Oxygen and Equinox, great background music, just good stuff like that. But I don't do that so much anymore, just because I'm too lazy to set up. I got to set up a Spotify list or something, whatever. Is it Spotify? I think it's Spotify. I know, but that's what it'll take. You can shop around that. Playing Queen and a tabletop RPG at the same time is a beautiful. Queen's got some good music. Someone asked a question I missed. Progress in the Memorial Tomb. So, yes. I've been talking to Ernie Gygax all day about Memorial Tomb. The box is done and ready. All I need is a stock code and a price, and whether they want to use one of TLG's ISBNs or if they want to purchase their own. So just to give you kind of an inside look, when you buy an ISBN, that ISBN is going to be associated with your account, which is associated with your company. You can use someone else's ISBN. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but your product will be associated with the ISBNs that are associated with that company. It doesn't mean anything in the big picture of stuff. So I offered them an ISBN if they don't want to have to mess with going through all that crap and buying one. But they may already have one. So we're reaching out to Benoit to make certain that I don't step on his toes or anything, and to settle on a price. So the way it's going to shape up, I'm relatively certain, this was on my advice to Ernie, the box set. Now, if you're a Kickstarter backer, you're going to get all the stuff that your pledge requires. But the box set will only have, like if you buy it in a store, when it comes out in stores in 6 months or whatever, the box set will have the main book, the Memorial Tomb book, and 5 maps, or 6, or whatever it is, to give you all the dungeons and all that business. And it'll have its own stock code, ISBN, and all that stuff. Now, there's 2 stretch rewards. Each they're in an individual book. Those books will also be available, but they will have their own stock codes, prices, and ISBNs as well. Now, if you got the Kickstarter, you're going to get all that stuff. You don't have to buy it separate. But if you're buying it later, you're going to have to buy them separate. So just 3 individual product prices. That way, we don't have to tie the box to the stretch rewards. The box is its own set. You can play the Memorial Tomb without having the Wilderlands or whatever it is, the terrain described around it. And that allows us to move it into production. So as soon as I have a green light on those 3 things, that box is going to get printed. And we got some final edits to put in the main book. We're going to do that and get the maps done up. I'm hoping in the next 30 days, have all of that done, printed and boxed and ready to go. And then we're going to give it to you guys on Backer Kit. You guys can choose to do, you can wait till the stretch rewards come out, or if you want to go ahead and pay a little extra shipping, we'll go ahead and ship the box to you, and you'll get your box set and all of that stuff early. And then later, you'll get the stretch rewards, whatever those things are. I think it's $2. I can't remember what it is. So the plan, that's my plan right now. That plan has not been approved by Ernie and Benoit. Ernie's 100% behind it. He wants to get as many people in that book as possibly he can. We just need to connect with Benoit, and he is way out in the wilderness. He's in the Canadian wilderness, way out, with spotty internet and spotty all kinds of stuff. So it'll be a day or 2, I'm guessing, before we get any kind of information back. I see. Stephen, has there been any luck on getting Canadian printer? Could use the same services as a drive-through RPG. You mean to print stuff in Canada? Hold on, just once. I got a phone call. It's the wife. It may be serious. Hey, babe. Hey, I'm streaming. All right, bye. Yeah, no, it wasn't important. Okay. We actually haven't looked much for a Canadian printer. The problem that you get into doing full print runs outside of, or anywhere really, is you've got to print a certain amount, or you're not going to have any kind of price, there's not going to be any kind of pricing in any way, shape, or reasonable. So you end up using a company like Drive-Thru RPG that's going to allow you to do, short print, print on demand. And the print on demand sometimes has got quality issues that we're always concerned about. So that's kind of where we've landed on that. But we're still looking at the whole drive-thru. I know Tim has looked at that quite a bit. On a serious note, I'm really glad you picked up the Memorial Tomb and went with it. You're awesome. Thanks, Gate Preacher. We're going to get that thing out. I'm a little miffed, and this is as much my fault as anybody's, is that it's taken us a year to bring this thing together. I should have come up with this resolution 3-4 months ago. Honestly, I should have. I was kind of waiting for the stretch rewards, and then I got caught up in doing gags more, and that turned into be a big thing. I'm now just making excuses. I should have gotten it done earlier, but now we're moving it through the pipeline. We're going to move that sucker through the pipeline. So yes, definitely coming. Any plans to do anything else with Fields of Battle? Funny you should say that, David. We literally have 3 copies of the Fields of Battle right now with the old cover. We're switching covers to it. So it'll have a new cover soon. For the book itself, probably not anything in the short term, but we've been eyeballing since we've got these nice box makers. We've been eyeballing making another box set, like it originally came out as a box set. So we've been kind of looking at that again. But that'll be later into the year. Fields of Battle is a good, sturdy little workbook created by Casey Christopherson. It's just good stuff. We got a giveaway coming up soon. At $4.50, I think. Is it a $50 giveaway? Is that what we're doing? I think that's what we're doing. So hang around just for a few more minutes, and we're going to give $50 away for this in the store or some such business. Woohoo! Let's see. One of the ways that Amarillo Design Bureau has managed to stay in business for so long is they own a black-white printer. Blah, blah, blah. Covers is expensive in the short term, but pays off in the long term. Unfortunately, they can't print color those. That's downside. Cabot Commando, that's exactly what we do here. In 2005, we took a huge chunk of our money and invested it in a print shop. We own our own binder, our own cutter, our own printer, all of that stuff. We make black and white soft cover books here. We can make color soft cover books here, and it's actually cost effective for us to do the color as well. So it's been a fantastic investment. Tough at times, but in the big picture, in the long run, owning our own print shop and doing our own printing has been absolutely fantastic. Now that said, we actually did hardcovers for a while, backed off on that because it didn't work out so well. But hardcovers are printed in Missouri. Everything else is printed here in Arkansas. And I think that Tim found us some paper so that we can bring the screens back into production as well. So I'm super excited about that. I don't have any handy, but we have really stout screens, Castles and Crusade screens here. It's Twitch slang to indicate excitement. There you go. Okay. Poggers. Oh, is that what that is? My sons are always saying that crap. I don't know what anyone's talking about anymore. Mainly because I don't listen. The 3 Amazing Adventures books in the bundle I got recently look great. Thanks, M5. Those books are fantastic. We got that's in the pipeline too, because those things are about... No kidding, Big Pumpkin. Those things are about sold out. We got so many titles about to sell out. I'm fixing to lose my mind because the Codex of Error is creeping that direction as well. Stephen, working on anything special? A one-off as a collector's item for CNC? No one-offs at the moment. No collector's items that we are working on presently. We've done a few of those in the past, but at the moment, my attention is focused on the Gods and Monsters of Error. Of course, getting all these Kickstarters rolling through. But definitely, it's Gods and Monsters of Error for me. I've got so much information I want to get out there that, and part of it is I know that people are playing in Error more and more. And when you come to these places like I was talking about earlier, Ardall, you want to know what's there, and you don't really want to have to sit and figure it all up. Well, it needs to be fleshed out. So the World Animal is the perfect place for that. We're bringing it all together. All right, so. Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea, Geek Preacher. I've only been to that Linktree page once. Chuck and Tim manage all of this stuff. I'm kind of the product manager guy. I do the projects. I don't know what's going on the internet. They just tell me to show up, and I try to show up. Sometimes I can't make it. I missed an event last night, but sometimes I try to show up when they tell me to. All right. Blah blah blah. When's the raffle? Are we doing the raffle? Is that it? Has started, yes. So you need to enter !raffle, and we'll roll through this, and here in a few minutes we'll pick a winner for $50 off, which is pretty cool. And I want to thank everybody for showing up for these streams. I surely do appreciate it. We all do here at Troller Games. We would love to grow this channel. We would love it if you would spread the word, let other people know about our streaming over here, both my AMA today. I love these jibber jabbers that we do. And then GM's Tricks of the Trade. We got Haunted Holler Painting over here. We got games. Chuck's running games, and DM Samuel's running games. And I'm going to try to get over here and run some games. And so just spread the word and join us. And as always, click the follow button. Chuck just hurled at me. Click the follow button. If you aren't following us, please follow us. And definitely check out the Patreon account. We got a lot of stuff that's going to start pumping through there. If you want to see sneak peeks on some of the stuff we're doing, some of the art that Zoe's doing on the Demons in Arid art, it's just through the roof fantastic. I can't say enough good about it. And you can see that stuff over on the Patreon early before it ever hits the print. Would you consider a new version of the Arid Folio or perhaps a world book that focuses on the setting instead of the giant hardcover? So that's funny you should say that, Amut. I'm not the folio. I absolutely love that folio, and I loved my original World of Greyhawk folio that we got back in 1980. Probably the most used item in my lexicon of gaming material ever. And we were talking about me and we game Sunday, and a bunch of us were talking about what's going to happen with Arid going forward. There's so much information that is going to start coming out. I hope starts coming out in the next year or so, really starting hopefully tomorrow or maybe Thursday. I'm not sure how long it's going to take them to get that stuff on World Anvil. But the presentation of this information is becoming an issue because, as you know, I don't like books to be much bigger than 350 to 380 pages. I think that it starts stressing the binding out. I just don't think it's a good idea. So presentation becomes an issue, and then you get into there's so much. So if you get into the Codex of Arid, as you're hinting at, half of the Codex of Arid is actually history. So what do we do with all of this information as it begins to explode out? Do we box it? Do we put it in soft covers? Do we put it in a folio? How do we actually present it? Online is great, but that too has its limitations. If you're playing at a table, then it's difficult to log online and look up. It's got its limitations. So that really, it's a very good question, Umut, and one I haven't answered. I love the folio ideas. The only problem with it, the folio itself is a very an odd-sized piece, and then it's got to be die cut and then folded. So manufacturing it, now we can do that all here, not here in our shops, but there's a manufacturer in Southern Little Rock that they did them before. They're still in business. I'm sure they could do them again. So it's definitely a possibility. And I hadn't really thought about the folio in a long, long time. That is an interesting way to look at it. Or maybe even a 2-volume set where one's the history, or we pull the history out and just do that in novel format. This is the Andanuth. If you want to know the history, read the Andanuth and do that as a novel format. And I'm really just thinking off the top of my head. And then we do a hardcover that's actually got the whole, all the playable information to it. And then, of course, the other option is to do a player's guide to Arid that's better than the CNC version sold out. I haven't put it back into print because I don't like how it's formatted. I wanted to have more information for the players. If you look at the 5th edition version of the player's guide to Arid, it's much better. Jason took a lot of time, and he took the folio info actually and put that in the 5e version. So I would like to see that done with the CNC version. There's just a lot of issues with a lot of different ways that we could go to actually present that book or that material. And it's a lot of material, and it's going to become a lot more material going forward. Folio is an interesting idea. Absolutely love that. Did you have the old, who here had the old Greyhawk folio? It's like 1980, 1981. It was red, had one book and 2 maps in it. I absolutely love that thing. The thing about the Greyhawk folio is that it leaves huge gaps of information out. There are massive omissions and blanks in the lore of the setting. Things are minimal and intended to spark imagination. This encourages each game master to make Greyhawk their own. That's why Greyhawk fans always bitch whenever the Greyhawk stuff comes out and it's different. The mystery is key to the engagement with the product and its longevity, as at least it is. I played Greyhawk from 1 week. As soon as we got that folio, I played it. And when was it the red? It was a red box, wasn't it? It was Ashes, World of Ashes, something, Greyhawk something Ashes. And I never really switched to that. I kept using the folio. I'd use some stuff from the box set, but I didn't really ever switch. So it was kind of funny. Yeah, it's just a great thing. Yeah, the box came out in 1983. If you can get the folio, it's really cool. I mean, it was, and he's right. There was next to King Cobra's right. There was next to nothing in it, but I liked that from the Ashes. That was it. I liked it. It was very compact and left me a lot of room to create. I see. My dad had the Greyhawk box set that came out a year or two later. Yeah, it was cool. The box set was cool, but I never. And I'm that guy that Kothar was talking about. I took the thing and I developed my own stuff. I had gone in this direction, and TSR went in this direction, and I didn't like it, so I didn't. I'd use the gods and stuff like that. It's good stuff. That was some great stuff. I came into the hobby in the early 90s through the Forgotten Realms books and games, so I don't really have any attachment to or engagement with Greyhawk. It was the thing about Greyhawk. It's hard to explain. It was simple enough, I think, that it left so much room, and even from the ashes, it left so much room that you could create. So it kind of encouraged. It didn't even encourage it. You had to. If you were going to use it, you had to create. Forgotten Realms. I played in Forgotten Realms some. Fantastic setting. But it was more detailed. It's more like Arid. It's more detailed. There's more information there so that you don't really have to create. It's not necessarily a good or bad thing. But Greyhawk, you were unleashed because there was nothing there. You had to do it. Let's see. 1980 for Garrett. There you go. A long time ago. One of the difficulties of playing in Arid, in my opinion, is the super dense history section. It's beautiful, but sometimes I just need pure setting. Yes, and it needs indexed. You need to be able to get to that information fast. And that history section, you can't. You just can't. It's 125 pages of dense text. So I really do. Like I said, I'm just spitballing, but I kind of like the idea of splitting it. The Andalus becomes a hardcover novel like it is now. Clean it up. I don't like the paper thickness in the Andalus is too thick. I don't like it. We've got maybe 100 of those left, and I'm probably going to recycle them if I don't sell them very soon, because I want a new hardcover done that's got the proper page thickness. That paper's just too thick. It's game book paper, which is great, but that's not good for a novel. But perhaps pulling the Andalus material out and merging and just making a setting book. And then I got to couple that with the way the Gods and Monsters of Arid is going to go. Because it's probably not going to be titled that, because there's not going to be very many monsters per se in it. There's going to be godlike monsters, like the Puala Beast that's in the MNTV, but by and large, it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be very different. My approach on that book is going to be very different, trying to feed, and maybe it'll be called the Legends of Arid, to feed the CK material that they can take and then extrapolate it and make their own adventures and own games. Darlene Map alone is worth the proof of admission. Oh yeah, Darlene Map is through the roof. 50 viewers, we are moving up the world. Woo! Yeah, definitely. If you haven't followed us, please give us a follow, and please check us out. I'm here every Tuesday at 4 o'clock, jibber jabbering about, well, frequently movies, but but whatever. And again at 4 o'clock on Thursdays with Jim's Tricks of the Trade, just all kinds of stuff. Still have all my old Greyhawk stuff. Oh yeah, sitting in a box. I'll pull it out. I'll try to pull it out the next stream, because our stuff is just battered to hell and back again. I mean, it's just absolutely battered. I don't really like playing around with that having such. Yeah, it's a lot of background in there. The nice thing about the background, though, and this is one reason that we included it, if you're playing an adventure or you're playing a character that is old or that is rooted in the mythology, it's all there for you. But it is dense and it is difficult to weave through. Vecna did nothing wrong. So yeah, blah blah blah. Let's see, blah blah blah. Even the Greyhawk. Would you consider releasing something like the Greyhawk Folio for Arid, where it has the bare bones information? That's actually out there, King Kothar, in digital format, and that's what Oma was talking about. We did a folio version of Arid, 2008 maybe, 2005, something like that. And that's what it is. It's the bare bones. And I want to say that's somewhere downloadable. If it's not, I'll make sure it is, so that people can just dive into it. And of course, it's on World Anvil. But yeah, presentation is important on that. On the flip of that, having it all at your fingertips is kind of a nice deal. Let's see, PogChamp. I'll have to tell you about the world I've developed using your codexes. Very cool. Those things are fantastic. All right, are we about ready to pull our two? Oh, no, we did already. Okay, apparently Matt won. Congratulations, Matt. Very cool. Yeah, Omid, I'm kind of liking that title too, Legends of Arid, and then it just, because I like the idea of weaving the mythology into a format, or fleshing the mythology out in a format that lets the game master run the adventure. Not telling them how to do it, but you want to see the Cloak of Red? Here's the things that your players are going to have to find. Now go do something with them, The book, I wrote down where those tomes are, books and sheaths are, but they don't have to be. You can do anything with them. So that's kind of where my mind is on that concept. And I love the title, Legends of Arid. It kind of fits. Wasn't there a Legends... Was there a Legends of Greyhawk or something? I can't remember. What book are you referring to? The Codex of Arid. So what they're talking about... This is TLG's world setting, is the Codex of Erd. And it's this giant 280-page tome, and the first half of it is the world history. That's the Andanuth. The Andanuth is the story of Erd. We've also published the Andanuth in novel format, so you can get this hardback book here. This is the one with the paper I'm not real happy with. And then the second half of the Codex is the terrain, the countries, the peoples, blah, 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 and all that stuff. That's the setting material. It's the almanac. The first part is the history. The second part is the almanac. So that's what they're talking about. But it's a lot of text in there. Let's see, how can you play in a world if you don't know the history? Yeah, maybe an abbreviated history. Damn it, everyone's just saying, Matt, and I thought I won for that. I see all the history and lore and Erd as a barrier to entry. Just give them enough to get them imagining. It can definitely be intimidating. There is no doubt. I'm that way when I pick up world settings. If I got to read a mountain of material, I just put it back down. But I'm just so hoser. There you go. I'm using some of the new codex. Oh yeah, it's good stuff. Not the Codex of Erd. I was talking about your new product. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Codex Egyptium, Codex Keltarum, Codex Germania, Codex Slavorum. We got a bunch of them. We got 6 of them, and we got 2 more in the works. So those books are absolutely fantastic. Brian Young has done a fantastic job with those things. I just love those things. I'd rather have some history to give the world an individual feel, not just a generic fantasy world. GMs don't need to throw it all at the players. And that's the approach I took M5 with the Codex. But it definitely, I mean, it's a lot. If you haven't picked it up, have a gander at it. It's a lot of information. Quick banging stuff around, making this old. What am I banging around? The books? Yeah, I think it's the book. And if I close one of these drawers, it's like a stone thing closing. Steve, I have to confess something to you. I got that copy of the Andanuth in the mail from a previous travel. I couldn't finish it. It was much too dry. Yeah. So the Andanuth, for those who want to know, it's not a novel per se. The Andanuth is a history, and it's really short vignettes, 3, 4, 6 pages long that tell the tale of a god or the tale of an event. Now, if you read the whole thing in one long arc, there is definitely a story arc to it, but it is a history book. Much more in the vein of the Silmarillion as opposed to like the Fellowship of the Ring. It's a history of the world of Erd from its conception to the present day, from when the Allfather conceived it. So it's definitely a little bit different. Is there a starter book for Erd? The Adventures is what I would suggest. A1, because those we leak or C1, either one of those. We leak the lore into the Adventures and let that go. If you're more inclined with fiction, we've got the Mirrored Soul and another something, Frog God something. There's a couple of other things out there that you can, but probably Adventures are going to be the best to kind of slip into the world of Erd. Otherwise, somewhere out there's a free download for the Erd Gazetteer somewhere, but I'm not sure where. Let's see. Yes, they are, and they're in the perfect sandbox world. They are indeed. Codex or DVN. There you go. My Flags is selling Codex Egyptium. It's a great book. If a Castles book is created, it would be cool to maybe reference whether it would. Oh, that's a great idea, Ultra Magnus. And Peter and I are very quietly in the very, very deep background working on castles. When I see a castle I like, I send it to Peter and say, "Hey, draw this one." So he's been drawing these castles for the past year or so. I have no idea where we are on them. I don't bother him with it. He's got so many other things to do. But the history. The Andanuth in the Codex. So the Andanuth, this is the Codex. This is the Andanuth. The Codex contains the Andanuth, just to let you know. And this is about a third of the book, 125 pages, and this book is about 150 pages, 160 pages. And it can be dense at times. There is no doubt about it. Not really history, but the fiction chat books they put out and give a good feel of it. And so that's definitely what we need to do. That's definitely what we need to do for Erd. There's no doubt about it. I think it's important to find that balance between a setting that prescribes too much and gives too little. And it's a difficult balance to find. There is no doubt. All right. You'll need a book called The Beginner's Guide to Erd. Kind of like a beefed up version of the folio, but that serves to highlight the major features and sites of the setting. Ever consider a starter set similar to D&D? Yes, we talk about starter sets all the time. It actually hasn't come to fruition, but it is definitely a conversation we have around here all the time. But I like this. I like where this is going. The Beginner's Guide to Air. I love this concept. I'll actually mull it over and look what we got out there. We've got the original. So the original Air is this little booklet right here. It's called After Winter Dark, a fantasy campaign setting that we released in the year 2000. It's 24 pages, non-dense. It's very, very much like the Greyhawk book from the folio. So probably something like this is what we need to make more widely available. Yeah, yeah, that is true, Big Pumpkin. You don't want to read 50 pages to get started. All right, so well, that's very cool, Bifford. Very few people have. It's an old release. At any rate, that's it for us on Ask Me Anything today. I'm a little bit over, even very quick, like 2-minute YouTube videos. Yeah, that's all of this stuff. I really want to do an Air channel too. So real quick, we're going to be doing giveaways all week on all of our Twitch channels this week. Definitely come back, join in, visit us here, check out our Patreon account. We're going to have a lot of exclusive stuff, just behind the scenes stuff for folks, and all the other stuff that comes with your Patreon, blah, blah, blah. Promote, blah, blah, blah. So go to the tree link or whatever the hell that thing's called. Lots and lots of stuff. Thank you all for showing up. I sure appreciate it. And these are some great ideas on air. Omo, glad you got it started, King Kothar. I love all of this feedback. Is fantastic. And it's already got me thinking of reviving some of this stuff and minimally putting it out for free so people can just dive into it. And then if they want to really get into it, there's the codex that they can go scoop up. So I'm going to poke around. And we've even got the folio still in PDF. Probably just re-release that as a PDF minimally. I love, absolutely, and I got to say this, I've said this 1,000 times. I love this Ask Me Anything. So many good ideas come at me from you guys. Things that help clarify my thinking and help me kind of tool the product for people who are out there using it, as opposed to me who, though I use it, because I know where the information is, because I wrote it or I laid it out or whatever. No, this is fantastic. Absolutely love it. Put it on Reddit. They love free shit. There you go. All right. On that note, definitely about TikTok there, Geek Preacher, definitely. On that note, everybody, you guys have a great rest of your week. Check out our menu of stuff. We got shows, and I'll be back in 2 days, Thursday at 4 o'clock. You guys, we will see you later. Y'all have a fantastic rest of your week. Thank you all, Geek Preacher Canadian, Elmo, Kothar, everybody. And I will stop banging the desk now and sign off. Y'all take it easy.